Last 20 years, I've been working to improve education in for-profits, nonprofits, government, and philanthropy. I became aware of this problem that I'm working on through my son when he hit freshman year of high school and landed on academic probation. It was a very difficult year for us. And that is that many incoming high school freshmen, ninth graders, don't have the social, emotional, the academic skills that are necessary to excel in high school. And this makes us parents tremendously anxious. So our solution is to provide in-person programming for middle school youth. We do this in two channels, one of which is after school weekend, as well as a full-time gap year program for students who would benefit from an additional year of growth and maturity before high school. And our goal is to strengthen student social and emotional development and foster a healthy community so they'll be ready to excel in high school. Some of the example modules that we will have will focus on social and emotional learning through esports. That'll actually be our first one that we're going to launch in January. But other modules will include entrepreneurship, executive function, outdoor adventures, and eventually when we get to the full gap year, we'll bake in an independent study charter school. Our target market is parents, affluent parents of 12 to 14-year-olds. Our business model is by the module pricing as well as a full-time gap year pricing where the tuition will be comparable to private school tuition, which is about $25,000 per year. This is a large market. There are 3.8 million eighth graders in the U.S. About 10% of those have the ability to pay. In Los Angeles alone, each of these blue dots represents either an affluent public school or a private school where parents are already paying tuition, and that's 18,000 eighth graders this year. For example, by comparison, one of our competitors called Fusion Academy sold in 2017 for $250 million when they only had 4,000 students. Our competition, you see private schools, good public schools, as well as psychologists and therapists, and I put Fusion up there as well. Most schools are competing on academic programs and on their sports programs, the prestige of their schools. A lot of parents understand that social emotional development and the sense of community that is really important to them, and there's a pendulum is shifting there. In addition, we're offering an extra year, so if your kid is not yet ready to spend that year getting that kid ready. So as I said, I've been doing this for 20 years. This will be my third organization I've been CEO of, and my second startup. I've assembled a fantastic team of advisors with deep expertise in business, education, and psychology. Our go-to-market plan will start out, as I said, with the first module on social emotional learning, and we'll be rolling out an esports program in the spring, starting in January, supported by content marketing and development of student and parent community. And here are financials. We're looking for $100,000 in seed funding in order to really support the rollout of the esports program.
Okay. So Azad, do you want to start this time?
Yes, the amount that you're raising, 100,000, is going towards what? You said you're developing the module and.
It's primarily marketing and recruitment and supporting the rollout of that program administration of that. So we'll have to rent
So the esports module is ready?
Yes. So we're partnering with, do you want me to answer this or just take it in? I'm happy to answer it.
No, go ahead. Short.
With an organization called WeThink, which has been, and that's our model, is to partner with different organizations. In this case, they're a pure technology play, and so they spent 3 years developing the technology to support this.
Are you going to go to the school districts to sell it, or are you going to go to the...
This one we're going to go via the sports league to reach out to schools directly through their athletic directors, but then sell directly to parents. So it's a B2B2C to start out in our MVP. Eventually we want to have a brand that we're totally B2C.
So I think the feedback might be based on Azad's questions is kind of that same thing that my feedback was to the previous person, was that it was, I think some of your financials are great. I love seeing the way you presented your team and the market share capitalization and all of that was great. But again, I think the problem was that it was unclear what the actual offering was and how you're going to fill that. And it was unclear that you're using something that's already existent or already out there, that we're picking up these bundles and we're able to build on that some other offering, and here's where it's getting in. So that would be my feedback on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom?
Again, even more so, tremendous difference from your first pitch.
Okay.
right direction, you hit all the right notes. To the previous point, you could do a little bit better of punching exactly what the offering is versus, you know, I can tell you right now, you're still worried about, I gotta get through the whole thing.
Very much so. Yeah. I got the timer in 22
Right,
seconds.
yeah. You'll get there. Practice to get there. The best thing I've seen, and I've mentioned this in previous reviews before, and you're the first one I've seen do it. And some other people have put into their pitches that I haven't seen yet. But you have a funnel. You've said, I'm going to do the market is this big in my area. Of that, here's my conversion ratio. I need 5%, and it nets me this much revenue.
Right.
Brilliant.
Okay.
I've seen that work really well for a number of startups, when you can boil it down of saying, I need to get this audience, this conversion rate. Is that now as a potential investor, I can look and go, yeah, that conversion rate's too high, or yeah, that audience is too little. I can now play with the variables in my head. The moment I start doing that, I'm buying in.
Right. Okay,
So.
good. I moved away from a national comparison, which I had last time.
Mhm.
So just to focus locally, people think about Los Angeles as but one city of this huge country.
Mhm.
Does that work for you? To
Yeah,
just have a local analysis?
It works really well because you condense the funnel. But one thing you can do is talk about this by starting in Los Angeles.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
just contextualize it as
Okay.
this is one market we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. Not the totality of your business.
Right. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I liked the LA focus because it was a digestible bite, right? If you're
Right.
talking about the entire, and
And the size is pretty good as
and the
well.
size is good, and it's something that I can buy into you having knowledge about. If you told me you knew about all of the affluent schools across the country,
it's
I'd go,
impossible. It's
that doesn't seem
unbelievable.
realistic,
Yeah.
right? So that seems like there's some expertise that you're actually bringing to the table and knowledge, so that's believable.
And pitching to a bunch of people here in Los Angeles, we can relate to. We know people who
Yep.
put their kids through a program like this. If you were pitching in San Diego,
Exactly.
I would say go get the data for San Diego. If you're
Exactly.
pitching for the Bay Area, go get the data for the Bay Area, because
Yeah.
that whoever you're pitching to in that domain or that locality is going to be able to relate to. Oh
Right.
yeah, I know that. I know that market. I know
Yeah.
these people here.